guys, welcome back to Dwells and Pearls Ladies channel. In this channel we discuss everything ladies, preparing her for the future. So we talk about issues that affect the young lady so that she can be ready for her future. Talk about empowerment, talk about character, talk about virginity series, talk about preparing for marriage. All of that content lives here. We have such content, so feel free to check them out anytime you can. So welcome today and thank you for joining us here. Today we want to talk about why it's important for you to have premarital counseling. Why is it important? I've met young people telling me that they are not interested in premarital counseling, and I'm like, what did you say? Do you have any idea how much it will or what it will do for you? It will do so much. You cannot afford not to have premarital counseling. It's so key, especially in these days where true information, correct information is difficult to come by. So it's important we don't just rely on Google or rely on a friend's experience. Go for premarital counseling where you have rich and diverse experiences shared by experts who have done this for years, who have seen marriages do well and the ones that didn't do well, and they can advise you and correct you clearly and prepare you for the future. This is so key. So I'm going to share three quick reasons why you need to go for premarital counseling. Yes, you found this boy. Yes, you like this guy. You are ready to get married to him. He has even proposed and you're all excited and preparing for the wedding and all of that. But have you done premarital counseling? Have you? It's so important. Number one, why must you go for counseling? Number one is because they give you a certificate before you start. How many of you have gone through trainings and they give you a certificate before you started? No, it has never happened except in marriage. It's the day of your wedding you are presented a marriage certificate. I've been through school a number of times. I've been through a lot of trainings. And they give us a certificate after the training. But in marriage, they give you before the marriage. That's saying something. That means they are entrusting that certificate into your hand, trusting that you would do right by it, trusting that you will make it casual, trusting that you will finish the training, trusting that you won't drop off. Because anybody that drops off doesn't get a certificate, right? In any training, they don't get a certificate. But now you are given a certificate at the beginning of that training, at the beginning of that course, at the beginning of this big program, this institution. You are given the certificate ahead. That certificate is given to you on trust that you will not pull out. You will not say one day, I'm tired of this thing, I'm not going to finish it, I'm done. There's no option for that. That's why a certificate is given to you from the beginning. Premarital counseling is a must because that certificate, you do not know how to keep it, how to make good your training, except you go through premarital counseling. So that's my number one point. Are you ready for number two? Yes. Number 2 point. There are tiny little things you would not see except you go for premarital counseling. Tiny little things that may seem is not such a big deal, but they are actually important. It's so good that you go for premarital counseling. Tiny things like what you may ask. A man that keeps malice with you, I would not call you the whole day because maybe the day before you reacted in a certain way, and because of that he won't talk to you for a whole day. The next day he won't answer your calls, he won't reply to your messages, he will just give you a whole day showdown. Keep to yourself. And for you, you'll be like, anyway, I annoyed him, so there's no big deal. Let me just bear it and continue. After all, we are getting married. We are going to be one. Girl, those are signs that a counselor will pick up when you go for premarital counseling. And they begin to talk to you about it and you can begin to work on it and overcome it. Don't just keep quiet. Don't just feel I know it all. There's no red flag in this relationship. Subject that relationship to premarital counseling. Then you find out if there are red flags or there are no red flags. You don't know yet for a certain because your knowledge is limited. Why not subject it to premarital counseling, where we have women and men who have been in this institution for 20, 30, 40 years? You would be surprised what they would pick. Very important. So go for premarital counseling. Number 3 point, why should you go for premarital counseling? Girl, is because love is not enough for a marriage to work. Have you heard that before? When I was getting married, I didn't even know. Yes, I learned. Yes, I kept reading books. Yes, I went for premarital counseling. But I didn't know that love was not going to be enough. Yes. Anybody that's been married for at least 2-3 years, they can tell you, I love 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 you again. It's not enough for a marriage to stand. People can really be in love and they can still separate. Love is not enough for a marriage to stand. So what are the other ingredients for a marriage to stand? Those are things you learn in counseling. Premarital counseling. It is so key. Don't be ignorant. Don't push it to the side and say it doesn't matter, we love each other. No, go for premarital counseling. Your knowledge is limited. So I do hope with these few points of mine I've been able to convince you. Please tell your bobo that you need to register for premarital counseling in your church, or a secular one, maybe a professional one. But by all means, make sure you go for premarital counseling. Don't just hop into marriage. Don't just be excited and use that excitement and jump into marriage. No, settle down and go for premarital counseling. There may be a lot of areas you have just brushed past and say it doesn't matter, we will discuss it when we are married. No, that a counselor will look at it and say, what did you say? You've not discussed this? We are discussing it now. Those issues are very important. So many things you don't know. Please go for premarital counseling. I want to encourage every one of you as you watch. Perhaps you have a younger sister, a younger brother, somebody around you that is due for marriage, that started the process of marriage and has not even enrolled for premarital counseling. Please encourage them to go to their church, go to a professional counselor and start premarital counseling. Do you know, if a lot of premarital counseling is done, a lot of problems marriages face today would be reduced. Some would even be completely avoided because of the value of premarital counseling. So I do hope this has helped you. I want to encourage you to encourage everybody around you, go for premarital counseling. Thank you so much. I will see you in my next one. God bless you.